Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be going over some of the drugstore makeup I have tried so far this year. There has been a lot of new launches and whether I think they are worth checking out or maybe skipping on. So I have done quite a few testing new makeup videos, but now we're going to do like an overview of everything I've tried since I have been testing these products out for a couple months now. Some drugstore makeup can be hit or miss. There's definitely a lot of hidden gems though in this video, and maybe some I'm just not really feeling. So let's go ahead and get started. So e.l.f. has launched so much new makeup this year, including a lot of similar products to some of the trending high-end stuff. I wanted to talk about the new Whoa Glow sunscreen from them. I actually thought this was really beautiful on the skin. You can use it as your SPF and also makeup primer, and it does have like this nude background that does kind of blend in with the skin, and then it leaves behind a really pretty glow. So this is not quite as glowy as their Halo Glow like Flawless Filter or Pigmented, but it's just like a really pretty just natural radiance. I think this is stunning. Even having oily skin, this still looked really beautiful under my makeup. I thought it worked really well as a primer. It did not break up my foundation. My skin was looking flawless all day long and not too dewy. I think this is beautiful and definitely worth checking out, because you definitely want to get in your SPF in every day. So this makes it easy because it's kind of a 2-in-1 SPF moisturizer primer. It's supposed to be similar to the Supergoop Glow Screen, which I actually found the Supergoop to be a little too glowy for me, so I actually feel like this works even better. Also from e.l.f. I tried their new Power Grip Primer with niacinamide. This essentially performs the same as the original Power Grip, so I don't know that this was like a necessary thing to have. I don't know if this would like replace the original. I know the niacinamide is supposed to help with the skin, so it does offer a little bit more skincare in there. I don't know if it's quite enough to do anything, but I know a lot of oily skin people really like niacinamide as an ingredient in like their moisturizers and stuff, but it pretty much performs the same as Power Grip. It's still that sticky, tacky base, so if you have Power Grip, you definitely don't have to go run it out and buy this, but if you're like, oh, like I'm out now, or you haven't tried it, then maybe pick this one up because it does have extra benefits. It just kind of seems like, do we really need this extra version? I don't know. I think they just kind of wanted to cash in on the Power Grip name because they know that one is really popular. Next for foundation, I have two that I wanted to share in today's video. I'm still testing out a couple more new ones, but so far the NYX Blur, this is their Bare With Me Blurring Tint Foundation. I have tried a couple times now and I'm just really not feeling this one. I think it's okay, but it's not a love for me. I don't know, I've seen people that can make this last all day, but for me it does not last. It starts breaking up really bad around 5-6 hour mark. It does hold the oils pretty well though, so I will give it that. It definitely is more of that matte finish, so I feel like dry skin is definitely not gonna like this one, but oily probably will like it a bit more. But yeah, it just does not last on my skin for some reason. It started breaking up on my nose and chin and it wasn't looking flattering on my skin. So this one I personally didn't like. I think it's a pass. Did not blow me away. I have much better in my collection. The coverage is also pretty light for me on this one. Now I feel like this one's a little bit controversial, but I do actually like this Essence foundation. For some reason, this looks so good on my skin. It does have more full coverage, but the main flaw with this one is the shade range is kind of trash. They really do not have enough colors in their range to cover most deeper and tan skin tones, so I feel like that definitely needs to be worked on because I honestly think it's a good foundation. It looks pretty. I have it on now and it just looks natural on the skin, but it holds up, which I'm looking for. It can get like a little bit dewy, but nothing over the top, so I just had to like touch up a little bit with powder, but I was just impressed at how long this stayed looking good on my skin for such a cheap price. But yeah, shade range needs to be worked on. I know a lot of them run like really yellow too, so they just do not have the best undertones at all. I don't know if I can necessarily recommend this because I mean not everyone's gonna find their perfect shade, so I'm kind of in between on this, but I did really like the formula, and yeah, it's like $5 or something crazy like that. I also tried two new drugstore concealers going with the Essence. I tried from that same line their Keep Me Covered concealer. This one I was just not impressed with at all. I felt like it had like no coverage. I would put it on, and mind you, the shade was pretty light. They sent me like 4 shades and they all looked so similar. So again, they're definitely catering to a lot of light skin tones, but not really much in the middle and deeper. But I felt like this was very see-through on the skin. Maybe if you do prefer something a little bit lighter, just very natural, but I just didn't think this really did much of anything. I definitely liked this one a lot better though. This is the Makeup Revolution one. It's their IRL Filter Finish Soft Matte Concealer. This one was pretty nice. I did get the coverage I wanted out of this one, but I will say maybe like a little bit drying. I felt like my under eyes kind of started creasing and cracking throughout the day, like midday, so it didn't hold up the longest, but it definitely worked a lot better than the Essence one did, but it's still not an absolute favorite in my collection, so I think this one's just okay. I kind of want to try like a little bit of a darker shade. This one I had in the shade C1. For the brows, I did try 2 new brow gels here. So let's start with the Milani. This is the Stay Put Liquid Brow Wax. This one I was pretty disappointed in. I would put it on. It was definitely like you could see the product. It looked white going on the eyebrows. It did eventually dry down, but this just didn't feel like sticky or tacky at all. So I really feel like it was gonna do nothing to the brows, and I was like, let me let it dry down a little bit. And yeah, my brows still felt like I had not applied anything on them. Usually with a good brow glue, they'll be like a little bit crispy or crunchy, I guess you would say. This did nothing. It did not hold my brows up. It was just like, okay, what am I putting on here? Because this just feels like a hydrating serum. So that one for sure is a pass. This one is definitely better though. This is the NYX, the Brow Glue Tinted. They had the original just clear one last year, and the tinted one I would say doesn't add a whole lot of extra color, so I really feel like you could do either or. If you already have the original, you probably don't need this one, because I really wish it did have a little bit more tint, but I do prefer the Brow Glue. I feel like this one does at least offer some hold to the brows and does keep them up for a decent amount of time, so it's one of the better drugstore options for sure. If you haven't tried it yet, definitely check it out. I do have it on right now just to offer a little bit of hold, but the color is essentially pretty clear. Like you can even see me applying it here. It's not gonna add a whole lot once you kind of brush that on. Okay, I tried a lot of drugstore mascaras recently. Let's start out with this one because I feel like this has been the most viral. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. I actually thought this one did a pretty nice job. It does have more of an interesting wand to kind of apply and like really lift the lashes. I feel like it can get a little bit messy though. Doesn't clump too bad, so I would say this one is actually pretty decent. It does offer quite a bit of length and lift to the lashes. No need for fake sponsored reviews because it's actually a good product. No falsies needed with it. Also, Milani, this one has been getting some mixed opinions. This is the highly rated lash extensions tubing mascara. Also, I don't think this is bad. I didn't like it at first because the formula at first is very wet and can get very clumpy, but if you let it sit for like 2 weeks like I did, it actually gets so much better. So don't write it off completely based off the first impression. I feel like so many people are trying it one time and saying like it's not good, but you gotta sometimes let some mascaras dry out a little bit, especially with those really wet formulas. And now I feel like it actually builds really nicely. It does not smear on the eye since it is a tubing mascara, and it doesn't clump up as bad as when I first used it. So if you're kind of turned off at first of this one, maybe give it another try now that you've had it a little bit longer, because I actually don't think this is bad at all. I actually might even like it better than the L'Oreal. And then we have the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. This was such a fun one. So they actually duped Benefit Roller Lash with this one, and it's actually very similar. I actually have this one on this eye and Roller Lash on this eye, and they are pretty much identical. Again, when I first used it, it was a little bit different than the Roller Lash. My Roller Lash was older though, so again, I let it sit and it was perfect. Now this is a really nice lengthening, separating curling formula, but it's not my favorite of the three. I think it's great because it really did dupe the roller lash, and if you love roller lash, this is a good one. And I actually like to go in with this one too as a second mascara because it actually separates a lot of my other ones that maybe got a little too thick. But I like length and volume, and I don't know, you guys, I'm trying to decide which one I thought was the best of all, and I kind of feel like Milani was, now that it's dried out. I think I liked this one the best. Alright, there has been a lot of new liquid and cream bronzers out, so let's go over these. Okay, first off, you know I hated the Flower Beauty. These are the low light liquid contour ones. Absolutely not. I will not spend extra time to make a product work for me when I have plenty of products in my collection that work fine. I'm not going to make excuses for this one just because it is cheap, and you should not either. So this is a complete pass. I had the worst experience with this one. I'm so used to doing with my cream contours, I could just line everything out and then start blending. No, this one you have to do like section, and it still comes out patchy, dry, and very hard to blend. So I know they're trying to go for the Charlotte Tilbury contour ones, but this one was the worst liquid contour I have tried. Of all the dupes I've tried, absolutely, it's a trash product. I'm sorry, but I do not like it. The ones that I think are the best liquid contours are these Milani ones. Now, the colors are not spot on. I feel like they should hopefully add a couple more shades that are a little bit more neutral or cool tone, because these do lean very warm, but the formula is impressive. Like, it is so easy to blend. You can draw out your entire face and blend it out. It does not dry as fast, and I personally think the colors are pretty. They're just definitely more warm, but I never felt like they looked orange or anything like that. I use honey and ginger both. Ginger's a little bit more warm tone, but honey is probably my go-to. Now, I do have some faults with them in the packaging here. I've been having problems with these, and also the highlighter, where I cannot get this thing to close, and it's happened on pretty much all of my stuff. It just doesn't feel like it locks in and seals. So I feel like there is definitely some faulty packaging, which could end up not being great because it could dry my product out. So we'll have to see about that, if that affects anything, but they can be definitely very messy. And let me know if you guys have experienced that as well. Just really trying to get that locked in. I'm just really struggling with it, and it just doesn't seem like it's working so well. But I mean, I still love these, and I still feel like they are the best liquid contour on the market for drugstore for sure. I also tried out the new e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer. I was a little bit nervous about trying this one because luminous, that word kind of scares me a little bit with having oily skin, and I never actually tried the original, so I feel like I heard such mixed opinions on the original, but the luminous is actually quite nice. And also the luminous putty blushes are also nicer than the original, so maybe there's just something with this formula that's just better, but I would not say that this is overly luminous at all. I have it on now. I have the shade, let's see, this is Day Trip. And they're actually really nice. Like, they are more of a putty formula, but they blend really well. I think the color is beautiful. And yeah, it's not too shimmery or over the top. And it does dry down, I would say, more of a matte finish on the skin. But yeah, I do think these are good. I wish they had like a little bit more space in there so I could really dip my brush in. It's kind of like very tight and compact, but I really liked these. And don't let the luminous name scare you off. It's actually a really great cream bronzer. So back to Milani again. I tried out their Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush Highlight in Luminoso, and I would not say this is a blush at all. I was actually kind of excited because I thought this would be a good dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Peachgasm because it has that very peachy undertone, but as it turns out, this is definitely more of just a highlighter. But it's a great liquid highlighter formula for sure. This is what it looks like on me swatched, but it's actually like so natural once you blend it out. It just has that subtle hint of peach, gives you such a pretty glow. Really easy to blend, but it has that same problem where I don't feel like it's closing, or I just can't tell if it's like locking down because I can still feel like some of the air getting in there, and just it seems very messy. But I actually really love this as a highlighter, but don't expect this to be like a super blushy tone or anything like that. And then along with the Flower contour ones, I finally tried their liquid highlighters as well, which is what they first came out with, and everyone was saying that these are a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury because they were kind of the first to actually copy that design and component. And these I actually like better, and I think they're actually pretty good. Maybe like a hint drying. They definitely have the packaging down on these. These twist and lock a lot better than the Milani ones. But yeah, I didn't feel like these dried quite as fast as the contour ones did. Of course, these are a lot lighter in tone, so you're not going to notice it as much as the bronzers, but I just feel like it didn't leave like a super noticeable line or anything, and it does give a nice glow, so I actually much prefer their spotlight highlighter ones over the contour ones. Okay, Drugstore, let's talk some eyeshadow palettes. I feel like I didn't do the best in this category. So with what I am wearing, I actually have on this Revolution Ultimate Desire palette. I picked this up at Ulta because I really love the tones in here, and I'll tell you, the first time I used it, I actually thought it was not bad and pretty nice for Makeup Revolution, and like I created a really stunning look with this palette, but the next couple times I used it, it just seemed like it would get hard pan so fast in the shimmers, especially this one here. I really had to layer that up like 4 times to get anything. I went in with my brush and with my fingers, and it just was not, I was not having it. So it's not the best for pigmentation for sure. And then some of the matte colors are very heavy with the fallout and can be hard to blend out. So I feel like the first time I used this, I liked it, but now kind of using it more, I'm like, you know what? I have way more better palettes in my collection that take me way less effort. So actually, I don't think I like that one as much. And I also tried these CoverGirl palettes too, and I thought these were so expensive for what they were, because I think they were selling for like 14 or 15 bucks on Ulta, but then I did find them selling at Walmart for only 10, so much better deal there. At first I was like, there's no way these are worth 15 bucks, but for 10 bucks, I'll take it. But this one in particular, maybe a pass. This is the Classic Smoky. I had a lot of trouble with the black in this one, so I'm gonna say I didn't really love this one. It was hard to create a full look with because it does have 3 metallics. Don't love to use metallics in my crease, so I couldn't build the full look I wanted out of this because I didn't want to go in first with a black. I like to kind of build to that color, so it would have been nice if maybe this color was more matte instead, and then you have like the more cool tone shimmers. So didn't love the smoky palette, but I did like this one, which is the caramel, which I feel like these colors are easier to do. This one's nice because it had the 2 shimmers and the 2 mattes, and I thought the mattes were actually, they were decent in this one for sure. The shimmers though, I thought they would apply well with my finger, but they were very chunky with using the finger. So to get the best, like smoother application, you definitely want to wet your brush with this one for the shimmers, and it applied really beautifully. It takes a little bit of work to get the result, not as much as the Makeup Revolution, but I definitely like this one. I would say a better formula wise, but still not my all-time favorite. Like I would still 100% pick a ColourPop palette over this, but it's definitely getting better for the Drugstore. I'm surprised I really didn't have a ton of new blushes to try, but I have been trying this one from Hard Candy. I was a little bit unsure about this metallic pink color, but let me tell you, this is beautiful on the cheeks and such a good formula. Hard Candy has some really top-notch products. I know they're harder to get your hands on if you don't live by a Walmart, but I feel like most people do, so you can definitely find their stuff at Walmart, in stores, and online. But this, oh my gosh, this is their Face Off blush. I still need to try the contour that's in this collection, but their blush is stunning, and this is the shade Born Yesterday. It actually has a doe foot. I think I just got some in my hair. Ugh. Okay. I'm glad that didn't get on my shirt though. It has a doe foot applicator that you put in, kind of like a lip gloss, and then it's like this bright pink, and you're like, what the heck? That is gonna be intense, but it actually blends out so beautiful. Like, look at that. It just becomes so natural and gives you that nice rosy hint to the cheeks. I actually have this one on right now. Definitely a lot lighter than I thought it would be, but it's very natural, and it blends like a dream. So I think these are definitely one to keep your eye on. It kind of makes me want to try more shades, but this is a great product. The rest of this product is lip stuff, and I have a lot to share with you. Let's do lip liner. So I really was not impressed with these Makeup Revolution IRL filter lip definers. They looked like I picked like pretty nice shades, but then when I actually got them on the lips, they all look so pink, like so unnaturally pink. So I've got the shade Chai Nude, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be such a pretty like pinky brown. No, it's like a bright pink. I don't know. It looks not great on my lips. This formula is very waxy and too creamy, so it's not my favorite formula. I also grabbed the color Caramel Syrup, which I also thought was going to be more of a brownie pink, but no, it's like so rosy. So these are just not the colors I was looking for in particular, but I also don't care for this formula. I actually prefer, again, with Hard Candy, these lip liners are actually so much better. These are the Instapout lip liners, and I got the shade Perfect Match, which is just a lot warmer. It actually is a little bit more slanted, so I think it's easier to get on the lips, and it's creamy, but it's not that waxy feel, so it's not going to smear all over the place. But I really liked this color. I thought that was a perfect nude. Again, that one's Perfect Match. So again, Hard Candy killing the game. These even have a little brush on the end to kind of blend that out, and I do have that lip liner on right now. Love it. Here is another, in my opinion, trash product. Makeup Revolution. They are just mostly misses for me, I'm not gonna lie, but there is a few hidden gems out there. Like that concealer was decent, but these are a no. I know what they were going for, and they were trying to dupe the Givenchy liquid balms, and it's very obvious that that's what they were going for. They tried to get that balmy texture, but it actually, again, ended up feeling so waxy on the lips. Not what I expected at all, and it was really sticky, and you could see the gross lip, like you would rub your lips together, and there would be like lip lines of product, just gloopy product that would just like stick when you open your mouth. It was not cute. And then these all kind of look like the same color. The Givenchy ones actually are very pigmented, but these are all pretty much clear, even though they made like different shades. And the swirls just kind of mix all together, so they don't really even look swirled anymore. Kind of like the Givenchy ones, they actually keep their swirl on the outside, but I was just not impressed with those whatsoever. A really good gloss though are these CoverGirl ones, the Yummy glosses, but they do have some faults because they have something must have happened in their factories where probably half of their stock is defective, and I'm really surprised they actually like made it through and were able to launch, because I had ordered like 4 of these, and 2 of mine literally would not open. No matter what I used and tried, they would not open. The lids were just stuck on, which is the craziest thing. And it wasn't just me, because I had a couple of you guys comment about it as well. So I don't know, that kind of turned me off a little bit. But I mean, this is a really good formula. The Yummy glosses, I mean, it's so cute. They have some really fun shades and a few different scents to them. They all smell so good, but these are really juicy on the lips, and they're kind of almost more of a lip oil texture. They're so nice, but just be wary. Hopefully that problem is fixed by now. I mean, maybe get it at Ulta so you know you can return it if one of your things will not open like mine did. I think Walmart has pretty good returns too, and these might also be at Target now, but these are a really nice gloss formula for sure. But I think these actually beat them out, and it's the NYX, which is surprising. They're both really good, but the NYX Fat Lip Drip Oil, these are my favorite formula. Just going off of lip oil, since the CoverGirl is very comparable to a lip oil more than a gloss, these are just a little bit shinier and juicier than the CoverGirl, and these actually are so similar to the Dior. Based on the applicator and the texture, literally so similar. Like, I would get rid of my Dior ones and just keep these. I have on right now, this is Mist Call, and again, I just have it paired with that lip liner. These offer a little bit of color to them, but oh my gosh. Like, how juicy does that look? It looks so good. Smells incredible. This one's gorgeous too. I used this one in a shorts video in, let's see, newsfeed. Beautiful. I definitely want some more, I think, of the darker shades, because I love when they have like a little bit of color, but wow. These are incredible, a must-have from this video for sure. Also wanted to point out, as I'm removing swatches, everything came off easily, but look what is still on my Hard Candy lip liner. So you know that stuff is not going anywhere. And then just a couple of lipstick products. I actually was quite surprised by this Wet n Wild one. This is the Comforting Lip Color in Rose. I feel like I haven't tried a new product from them in so long, but I know like super shiny lipsticks are so in right now, and this definitely gives kind of that Makeup by Mario feel, like the lip plumps that he does. But how beautiful. It just offers a hint of color there. There's not a ton of colors in this range, but oh my gosh. what colors they do have are so stunning and just a really nice formula. So I was really excited to find a good hidden gem from Wet n Wild. And then I did also try the new e.l.f. lipsticks. They did raise the price of some of their stuff. I know some people were complaining, but it seems like they did up the quality of their lipsticks for sure. They did remind me a lot of the NARS Audacious, and I think that's who they were trying to dupe because the packaging is very similar. They did add a magnet close, so does feel a little bit more luxurious, and it does say e.l.f. along the bottom, kind of like how the NARS do too. Now I haven't found a shade in this line that I'm like obsessed with. I love a good light neutral like this, but this one was just like a hint darker than I thought it would be. This is Dirty Talk. Still really pretty, but they do offer like a ton of pigmentation there. I'm more into the glowy lips right now, so this isn't like a top must-have for me, but overall it is a great lipstick, just how pigmented it is, and it's definitely more of like a satin finish, but these shades definitely are darker, I feel like, than they look in the tube. But I mean, it's a good formula. I'm kind of waiting to see if maybe they'll add a couple lighter nude colors in this line, but it does feel very luxe for Drugstore. So I think that is everything I wanted to go over today. Just some of the new Drugstore makeup I've been testing out and my final thoughts on everything. I've been doing a ton of testing new makeup videos, and I feel like usually my first impression is usually correct in the end. I do change my mind a couple times, but for the most part I feel like I can judge if I'm gonna like a product or not based off the first try. So don't miss out on those videos. I feel like I film one at least every week or every other. All these products will be linked in the tagged products on YouTube here and in the description box if there's anything you guys want to check out. Let me know what Drugstore makeup you've been loving or hating, but I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.